Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is April the 5th, 2025. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. We got some sleep. We woke up today. Kind of hung out, did a little bit of gaming, and then I went to the gym. Gym went well. I will say I'm thinking about doing maybe things a little bit differently in terms of like my weekends, and this is just something I'm kind of rolling around my brain. But just saying like, hey, like obviously I want to hit it, I want to show up, but maybe just kind of reducing the activity a bit, or maybe just not trying to max out on the weekends. But we'll see. That's a thought that I'm having. I'm mulling over. But overall, the workout went well. Just, still dealing with some like soreness and, a little bit of joint pain, stuff like that, which is annoying. But, that comes with the lifestyle. At least I shouldn't say that because I think that that's actually wrong. I think if you exercise and work out correctly, you don't have to like actually endure much pain. If you do it right. And this takes me back to like my piercing days when I would like really just be impatient and want to get to the next size and the next size. And everyone kept telling me, it's like, this doesn't hurt when you do it correctly. And I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I just want to get to like, this size. I want to get to that size. And I'd like blow out my ears like all the time. And it was not worth it. And I should have just taken my time and maybe it would have added like 6 months to a year maybe. But I still would have gotten to this, the ear size that I wanted, and I would have had cool looking ears and no blowouts, no pain. But hey, I did it the hard way. And I guess this is no different. But yeah, no. Overall, today has been good. A little bit of beverage corner. I had a Sour Patch Kids energy drink. It was like the blue raspberry one. It was pretty good. I will say, like, by the time I got done drinking it, I realized, like, I don't think I'd drink this again. But it did taste, like, bar for bar, like a Sour Patch Kid. And I imagine that if I had it with some Sour Patch Kids, it would probably be very yummy. And then also switched up the beverage for the episode. What is it? Let me just pull it up real quick. It is Imperial Bubbles. It is a Rheingeist brew. Imperial Rosé Fruited Ale. Ale with natural flavors and elderberry extract for color. And of course, my favorite part, 9% alcohol volume. So we love that. We love that. That's what we're going to be sipping on today. I'm going to take a little pre-sip. If you are familiar with the OG Rheingeist bubbles, it's pretty comparable. It's pretty much the same. It's just a little bit stronger, got a little bit more of a kick. But yeah, let's go ahead and do our startup and get into some news. Nom, nom, nom. Okay. From CNN. A Russian attack on Zelensky's home city kills 19 people, including 9 children, one of the deadliest strikes this year. A Russian missile attack on the Ukrainian president's home city of Kryvyi, and I'm sure I'm getting that wrong, but on Friday, killed at least 19 people, including 9 children, one of the deadliest strikes this year in a conflict that shows no sign of a swift end despite a push for peace by the Trump administration. Among the 72 injured was a baby as young as 3 months, with the attack also damaging dozens of apartment buildings and 6 education institutes, along with shops and businesses, said Oleksandr Vikul, Kryvyi's mayor, on Telegram on Saturday, calling it a tragic evening and night. Um, let's see, I'm skipping ahead here. Russian troops struck Kiviri with a ballistic missile and a cluster warhead, which is designed to hit a target larger or hit a larger area and a larger number of people, said the Ukrainian general staff. Ooh, let's see here. Also, Russia targeted a power plant in Kherson with a drone on Friday, Zelensky said. So it seems that despite talks of a ceasefire, the mulling over it, it doesn't seem like Russia is really going to, be abiding by that. And I know that I was listening today while I was at the gym. I was listening to the BBC. Essentially now, like, Donald Trump, Marco Rubio are kind of voicing frustration, if you will, that, it seems like Russia's doing a lot of talking, but not actually talking about real negotiations. So maybe things aren't okay. Maybe we're a little upset. We'll see if anything comes of that. I don't know if there's any teeth in this administration when it comes to Russia. Even in this situation, they were kind of like vague about like blaming Russia for doing this thing. And I do like that even like Zelensky is, keeping his eye on that and at least saying that, I guess it's worth noting that at least he's trying to stand on business as much as he can, but obviously, the situation is seemingly not good. I was hoping that at least we were on the road to something of a ceasefire that would mean, a reduction of tension, and we could at least get, to an end with this, or at least as part of the chapter between Ukraine and Russia. But it doesn't look like we're really getting there. So that's a bit unfortunate. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to our next story. From the Supreme Court. We got some Supreme Court rulings to talk about from Axios. SCOTUS allows Trump to move ahead with cuts to teacher training grants. The Supreme Court on Friday sided with the Trump administration, allowing it to withhold federal education grants for teaching training while the case proceeds at a lower court. The decision marks a Supreme Court victory for President Trump as he slashes federal spending with the help of Elon Musk and his Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. Chief Justice John Roberts voted with the court's 3 dissenting liberal justices in a 5-4 decision. So it's close, but no cigar in terms of saying, hey, we're going to make sure that people get schools get funding for programs and things of that nature. But essentially, no, according to Trump, according to Doge, they're like, nope, you're going to use this for DEI projects and woke nonsense. So we're going to take, I think 104 of the 109 grants, if I'm not mistaken, were essentially pulled. The Department of Education terminated about $65 million or 104 professional development grants that it found at odds with the administration's anti-diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. It's so weird to be anti those things. Like, it's so gross. It's actually racist to be pro diversity. It's we are living in very interesting, fun times where what is the verbiage? What is it? It doesn't matter as long as your guy's saying it. Then you're happy to hear it. I guess that's more or less where we're at. Maybe that's where we've always been. Maybe this is just the meme. Anyway. Let's see here. The Trump administration has asked the Supreme Court to intervene in several cases as lower courts block Trump's policies at a particularly high rate. Essentially, the growing rhetoric out of the executive branch here is that these lower courts, I'm putting that in quotations, because these are still at a federal level. It's like, no, you can't stop us. You're some district court, whatever, blah, blah. If we want to send someone to, El Salvador, we're allowed to do that. We don't care if we actually fucked up or there was any mistakes in the matter. It's none of your fucking business. Don't worry about it. You have no authority over us, which is crazy because then what are you saying? What only the Supreme Court maybe does? This is a wild rationale to grasp to, and technically this verdict here is kind of them relenting and saying, yeah, we're okay with it. At least, for the most part, 5 of the motherfuckers, the majority. Let's see here. There is a stipulation to this because it's like a temporary, once again, putting the quotations up. If respondents ultimately prevail, they can recover any wrongfully withheld funds through suit in an appropriate forum, the majority wrote on Friday. So essentially adding kind of a loophole out, a little bit of a moral cleansing here for themselves, where it's like if the lower courts, because this kind of got brought a little too hastily, which I'm pretty sure Jackson mentions, there's another article that I was going to use that has a little bit more details from CNN. It's not loading up, but let's see here. I might try to reference that. So, if you want to read more details or get a more detailed readout. And if respondents instead decline to keep the programs operating, then any ensuing irreparable harm would be of their own making. I believe, this is still from the majority ruling. Excuse me. Let me read the headline for the CNN one. 5-4, Supreme Court allows Trump to freeze roughly $65 million in teacher training grants. Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to put that up. Reinstating the challenged grant termination policy will inflict significant harm on grantees, a fact that the government barely contests. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson wrote in a dissent that was joined by Justice Sonia Mayor. Worse still, the government does not even deign to defend the lawfulness of its actions. So, it's a frustrating thing because this seems like one of those slippery slopes where once again we are seeing rights getting chipped away and evaporated, and you see more power given to someone like Donald Trump to do whatever the fuck they want to do with it. And you could say, well, this doesn't affect me. I'm not in school or college. I don't have any kids, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, once again, this is only going to get expanded upon. It's only going to open up a vacuum for more of these cases to go all the way up to the Supreme Court or just be handled by lower justices now saying like, well, we have this example to use from, so we'll just kind of rule in this way. So, I don't like covering and seeing these kind of things, of course. So it's a bummer, but we move. There's more SCOTUS news that I wanted to get to. And maybe I'm on the bad side yet again here. I don't know. But, these things happen. It is what it is. But from ABC News, unanimous Supreme Court upholds FDA block of flavored vapes. Let's see. In unanimous Supreme Court on Wednesday, I got a thing in the way here. On Wednesday, backed the Food and Drug Administration, or the FDA, FDA's refusal to authorize the sale of kid-friendly flavored e-cigarettes and vapes, including the flavors Killer Custard Blueberry, Rainbow Road, and Pineapple Express. I hate that this is like a term, like kid-friendly vapes, because I feel like it implies that they are directly pandering this to sell to children. And the logic here is like if you use good flavors, because I'll just read the definition here. Kid-friendly flavors such as fruit, candy, mint, menthol, and desserts, which are largely not approved by the FDA, are currently sold on store shelves illegally. And have been fueling an explosion in retail sales of e-cigarettes. So that's what they mean when they say kid-friendly. It's like anything that kind of tastes good, then it's like, hey, that's a kid-friendly vape. And it's like, so like, I've had this fucking spiel before where it's like, so you have to be able to smoke dirt. You have to smoke dirt in order for it to be like an on-the-level, standard, FDA-approved e-cigarette. I think that's wild, and I don't even use the shit. Now, you could say, well, you do another thing, Isaiah, and it's like, yes, so yeah, in that regard, yes, I do champion it from that angle, because I think it's silly, because this is used across the board, whether we're talking tobacco, whether we're talking marijuana, or cannabis, whatever the fuck you want to call it today, like, it is the same metric and standard used, and I think it's really stupid. I think it's very annoying. I think this is, once again, one of those situations where we're saying, hey, we're trying to defend the children, protect the children. We don't want them to get the Killer Custard Blueberry. And I'm like, God damn it, no one's trying to, like, let the kids have this shit. In fact, you're kind of forcing this to be sold in an illegal way because you want to do this and go by this fucking method. But, okay, whatever. And now it's like, no, you got to smoke fucking doo-doo dirt. So since a kid will never, but at the end of the day, more times than not, teenagers, children, they are looking at adults and saying, well, I want to do what they're doing. I think that's cool. So I'm going to just gravitate and do that. It's not going to fucking matter whether the flavor is blueberry yum yum or not. So I don't know. That's my fucking 3 cents about that part. I do get it though. I understand that this is like not a healthy activity to be doing. I get the idea that you need to maybe have regulations on it and things of that nature. I don't want to completely just be like, oh, I'll blow this off or whatever. But I do think it's kind of this cruel little irony here because we talked earlier in the week about the Health and Human Services, essentially getting shrunk, downsized by RFK Jr. By this, that's what the Trump administration wants, and it's like it's already hard enough to police these illegal e-cigarettes and a lot of gas stations and places like they're very prolific. You just can't really police and crack down on them, and now there's even less people to do the job. So I mean, however you want to fucking bang the gavel and say, okay, well this is the law, we're gonna enforce it. Good luck with that because you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot to do it. And once again, do they really care? I mean, no. Trump said, hey, I'm gonna actually champion the vapes. I'm gonna make sure the vapes get good representation or whatever, and then this happens. So I don't know how serious he was about that, but I mean that's some populist shit that he likes to do. He likes to say he's gonna help everyone and do everything, and some of that stuff maybe he does, like with Bitcoin or with with the vapes, all this kind of fucking shit. So I mean, here we are. Oh, and of course tariffs. And do you feel liberated? By the way, we're post Liberation Day and everything. Stocks are down as fuck. Even I think what Congress has been like kind of bucking against him in terms of at least the Senate. They passed a bill for the Canadian part of the tariffs. They're like, oh, these are bad. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Granted, I mean, is the House going to pick it up? We'll see. There's rumblings, but we'll see. But yeah, no one's liking it. No one's really feeling the vibe. No one's really feeling the verve. But I mean, still he persists. Still Donald persists. Anyway, let's take things to a local place. I'm done talking about Supreme Court. I'm done talking about Donald Trump. Let's go ahead and take our last break, and we'll take it on home to good old Ohio. And yeah, we gotta talk about it's some bad news. It's some true crime. It's some true crime bad news out of Ohio. I'll say that, and I'll take a sip of my water, and we'll take our last break. Oh, ooh. Okay. From ABC News. High school staffer allegedly asked student to kill her husband for $2,000. A staff member at an Ohio high school is accused of trying to hire a student to kill her husband for $2,000, according to a criminal complaint. Stephanie Demetrius, 44, was charged with felony conspiracy for allegedly asking a juvenile at the Academy for Urban Scholars High School in Columbus to commit the murder, according to the probate cause affidavit. Demetrius allegedly approached the student on March 26 and paid $250 in cash as a down payment for the job, the affidavit stated. Police obtained a recording of a phone call between the student and Demetrius during which she confirmed the remaining payment was not a worry, the affidavit stated. She noted when the kids would be out of the ex-husband's house and that he worked from home. When asked if neighbors would hear the gunfire, she advised that they don't care about the neighbors, the affidavit stated. During the arraignment on Thursday, her public defender said Demetrius denied the allegations and says this is being fabricated. Her attorney added that Demetrius looks forward to her day in court. The prosecutor, Parker Swartz, asked for a high bond given the alarming allegations here. He said Demetrius is in a recent or pending divorce or separation and has a protection order against her. Excuse me. The defense said Demetrius has 4 children while asking for a reasonable bond. The judge set Demetrius' bond at $150,000 and ordered that she comply with the terms of the protection order filed against her, as well as stay away from the juvenile involved in the case as part of her bond conditions. This was like the cringe kind of cold part to me here. When asked if she had any questions, Demetrius responded, "Who is the juvenile involved in this case? She has not entered a plea to the charge." And it's like, well, like, girl, like, why are you saying that? Like, I don't know. I didn't like that angle, and I get it. Like that's just what she's trying to say, and it's like I'm sure maybe she has something to maybe add, or it's like I just it gave me the willies when I read that. Anyway, ABC News has reached out to Demetrius's public defender for comment. And you know it's not good when it's a public defender. Hate to say it. I mean, obviously, hey, they're doing the best they can. I'm not trying to shade them, but they got the baggy pants on. They got the suitcase. Why you got the suitcase, man? It's 2025. Anyway, I'm joking. It's a joke. For comment and has not yet received a response. Her preliminary hearing is scheduled for April 11th. Demetrius is a literacy enrichment instructor at the school. A spokesperson told ABC News she was immediately fired from the school. Sorry, run that back. She was immediately fired, the school said in a statement on Friday. The safety and well-being of our students is our highest priority, the Academy of Urban Scholars High School said in a statement. We remain committed to maintaining a secure learning environment, focused learning environment where students can thrive academically and personally. This was a crazy story. And it always goes back to the old adage that every podcaster is going to fucking tell you, don't hire a hitman. Now, usually they always like to say, oh, the hitman's never real. And they're usually right. Yes, they're usually fucking right. But guess what? In the guts of it all, sometimes it's actually worse and they're real. And like in this situation, she was trying to lowball bargain, I guess, for a fucking budget high school, like student hitman. She was just going to DIY the job. And it's like, this is a mistake. This is not going to go well. And thank God it got stopped before it actually was able to be completed, But yeah, $2,000, that's not worth it. And it's crazy that this conversation got entertained. It's not stated in this article. I initially read this from People. The People magazine, whatever. But the mom got a hold of this information, I think, like seeing the text messages or something like that, and alerted the police. So, I mean, luckily this was headed off before it was able to like go to fruition. But yes, sometimes though, the hitman is real. But trust me, you do not want to see that come to pass. You don't want, because maybe they do it. And it's like, oh, okay, awesome. But that's what, this isn't a movie. They're going to be able to do the forensics. They're going to be able to, track the evidence. They're going to be able to link it to you. All you did was just actually go through with this thing that you shouldn't have gone through. It's a mistake. So don't do it. Just don't do it. Things are tough, things are rough. Just let things play the fuck out. You know what I mean? Erasing this guy is not going to make your life any easier. That's for sure. It's not going to make your kids' lives any easier. So it's a shame that this path was chosen. At least I should say allegedly. But yeah, if I get any more details from this story, I will be sure to update. But yeah, that's going to be it for today. That's going to be the episode. If you'd like to help out, support the effort, I do have a Patreon. Patreon.com/IsaiahNews. Freeways hit me up, IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials. Subscribe to the YouTube. That's a free action. It's a cool thing to do. Leave a like. Leave a comment. That's nice. Sharing is caring. Also, follow on TikTok, follow on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all of those things, whatever you're listening on. And thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.